And
What's up, good people? Welcome back to the And Relax podcast. My name's
and
Sean.
relax.
And relax. My name's Sean, and I'm here with my good buddy Torlando. Torlando, introduce yourself to the good people.
What's up, Torlando, aka Torlando the Ninja Turtle, aka Torlandroid? Uh, out here. What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm great.
How the
I'm
kids doing?
Tony the Tiger. Great.
Tony the Tiger, great. Shout out Battle Creek, Michigan, Kellogg,
Yeah, that's right. Our roots.
our roots. Our roots go back to close proximity to Cereal City, growing up in Kalamazoo. Yes, there really is a Kalamazoo, Michigan. We're both from there. It does exist.
And we both had to leave.
And we both absolutely had to leave and take jobs elsewhere and just grow. That's what happens in life. That's what
Yeah,
happens in life, my man.
it's
So
mostly just too cold up there.
that's true. Lake
The lake
effect is
effect
real.
snow is too much.
It is. It's bone chilling in
Yeah.
winter. Though it's beautiful in the summer. That's the trade-off.
Yeah, very nice, mild summer. You get to go to the beach, fresh water. But I visit, you know, I
You
visit.
have to you have to get back. You
Yeah.
have to get back. Love getting back in the summers, going to Lake Michigan, getting in that fresh water. I prefer fresh water to salt water.
Any day of the week, man. Clearly.
Yeah.
You don't
Oh,
get the jellyfish, you don't get
yeah.
the sharks, you don't get the dry and itchy skin. Any day of the week, fresh.
So all of that, and then taking into consideration the fact that the ocean is terrifying.
Absolutely. There are legitimate aliens that live in there.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we've seen squid
Yeah, an octopus is
and octopus. Yeah,
I'm not buying that they came from, I'm not buying it. I think they plopped down, they dropped in the sea. They're like, let me observe. Let me observe humanity from the ocean. It's a weird place down there, man.
it's
Weird place.
not for me. Not for me.
Mm-mm.
So fresh water
Mm-mm.
any day. So
And
I was I was I was out and about, listening to a different podcast, and one of the topics that they talked about, which realistically blew my mind, was Uno rules, and Uno the card game.
yeah,
And I have been living my life without the understanding, here in my 30s that, and tell me if you've heard this, when you have a draw four card in your hand, you are not supposed to play that draw four card until you don't have the subsequent color that's being called. Did you know that?
no.
Yeah, that's apparently an official rule. So
How would
let's
they
say
know though?
let's say you and I are playing a game of Uno and the color's currently blue.
Yeah.
I've got to draw four. I see that you have two cards left, and
Yeah.
like I said, the color's blue. I
I
have
get
a
the I
blue.
get the
Yeah,
rule.
yeah. I have a blue three and a draw four. If I throw down that draw four and switch it to yellow, you can challenge. I didn't know that. And if you wind up challenging, you have to show the table or your opponent your cards and prove that you don't have that color left. And if you don't have that color left, they have to draw four. But if you do have that color left, you have to draw six.
Yeah, man, Uno is one of those games where it's 95% house rules.
You think so? That was going
I
to be
think so.
my other
I
question.
don't think people play it the same.
Right. I mean, there's obviously the official rules that they have, sent out, categorized. Hey, this
Yeah,
is how
but
we're going to play.
nobody reads those. Nobody
No
does.
one reads them. I
No.
mean, there are
No.
just the universal. Hey, I understand the premise of Uno, but then
Exactly.
how
That's
the
close
house
enough.
works.
That's
Yeah,
close enough.
yeah.
The
So
rest is house rules.
what do you think about the new versions that are out that have the blank cards in them that you can fill in your own rules? Since we're on the topic of house rules,
Well, that solidifies my point. You see what I'm saying? Because they recognize the game recognizes that everybody's playing by their house rules, and so they're like, well, let's just add in add in a house rules card.
Okay. So what if someone puts, the absurd like draw 10, draw 25?
Hey, it's house rules. Not
So
my house.
you don't think there should be a limit? You think you just whatever you put on there, quote unquote, at the house is just it
I
flies?
mean, what are they gonna do? Write a rule that's like pick up the whole deck, and then you
Like,
got
what if they do?
700 cards in your hand.
Yeah, what if they do? And or if you're playing with a child who's going to freak out when they get that card placed upon them.
I don't know. I don't have enough stakes in this Uno game, man. I don't. If I showed up, I played Uno with some Africans once, and they were making up rules too. And then I tried to play them in Scrabble, and they could they English was their set. They spoke French, so they
Okay.
couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, they couldn't do. They didn't like Scrabble. I was whooping them, but I was also playing for them. So we went back to Uno, but they were making up Uno rules too. So I don't have enough stakes.
I got you. Do you think board games is more of a like an American thing? Or you think I mean these
I
like
don't know.
like Scrabble for instance, is there a French version? Is there a Spanish version? Different languages?
But I mean, there would have to be, right?
You would think so, but I've
You would
never
think. I've never looked. I mean, like with the Spanish version, do you get chips with the accents over them and the tilde?
I don't know.
Is there an ñ?
I
Is there an r?
I don't know. You know what? That ties into another question I was wondering and wanted to touch base with you on. So you're bilingual, you're a Spanish speaker.
Yeah,
For myself, I don't
not
know
by
any,
birth though.
not by birth. I don't know any other languages. In high school, I
I
took
have to
Latin.
explain this to people. You're going to confuse people, Blair. I have to explain this. My
What?
my
Explain what?
my dad is black, my
Okay.
mom is white, and I came out Hispanic.
Okay.
That's how it happened. Okay, so people confuse it too often. I can't go to a Mexican restaurant without them speaking Spanish to me, and I just go with it at this point.
Well, you got the skill set now.
Might as
So,
well. It's easier for
so
you. It's easy for me. Whatever.
right. So I took Latin in high school and had promptly forgotten it after 2 years. But in terms of tying in different languages, how beneficial has it been, throughout the course of your life, being able to be armed with that skill set of being bilingual?
Oh well, I used to run the business, and I would hire people from Mexico, and that was helpful. To speak their language. You want to be able to speak to people in their language. That's my opinion. Uh,
Yeah.
like there's this quote that was loosely based off of something that Nelson Mandela said, which went, if you speak to a man in your language, the message will go to his head. But if you speak to a man in his language, the message will go to his heart.
That's a great quote.
Yeah.
Is that
So
verbatim or is that similar to what he said?
like if you read Trevor Noah's book,
Mhm.
Born a Criminal, he attributes the quote directly to Nelson Mandela, but I did some research, and apparently some other lady said it referencing Nelson Mandela, but she thought that he said it. It's kind of confusing. So that's why I said it's a quote referencing something that Nelson Mandela said.
Gotcha. Gotcha. No, I like that quote, and I would agree with you. I would agree with you in the sense that in order to make the connections with people, being able to relate to them, with something as basic as language, and finding that that connection there is
Yeah.
absolutely beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely. And when even for me, like I've noticed this in myself when I'm listening to somebody in Spanish, I'm obviously understanding what they're saying, the vast majority of what they're saying. I don't have a perfect command. I am fluent, but I don't have, it's not by birth, right? Or I'm not a native speaker. So, you do when they I've noticed that, when I had the employees, that there would be times where they really wanted to get something in my head, like they really wanted to convey a message to me, that they would actually switch to English, even though they were less fluent than I was in Spanish. They would sometimes switch to English so that I would really listen. Because otherwise, it's just kind of like, oh man, this is tight. I'm tight because I can do two languages. I'm tight.
Right. And when there was the language switch, did you have to kind of step back and understand that they were really trying to drive a point home or convey something to you, or were you just questioning why the switch in language?
Well, it was really, the instances where it happened. I mean, sometimes it wasn't always serious where they would go, switch to English. Sometimes they just, thought something would be funny if it was said in English. But it wasn't like a conscious like, oh, I need to pay attention. It just was, it just hit here. Like it was just natural. So like I that quote I feel like is like 100% valid.
Definitely, definitely. So the other day we were chatting, and you mentioned going to Taco Bell.
Yeah, I go to Taco Bell from time to time.
Go to Taco Bell from time to time.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I've noticed with Taco Bell is, there's something on their menu that's always changing. And right
Yeah.
now we're living in a time period where they've introduced fries for the
The
second time.
nacho fries are back.
Nacho fries are back. Love the
And
advertising.
relax.
And to relax. Love the ad campaign that they got going on right now.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
but I wanted to ask you, my man, from a marketing standpoint, what do you think the intention is behind limited items coming and then being pulled, after a couple of months? Do you think it's intentionally establishing scarcity, or do you
That's
think
that's
that
that's exactly what it
that's
is. That's
exactly
all
what
it
it
is.
is?
That's all it is.
Talk to me.
Scare Okay, so scarcity is a psychological tool that is used in marketing and sales to get people to move. If it's perceived as a limited resource, while supplies last,
Hmm.
people will act like it's a limited resource. And in our psychological behavior, the things that make us tick on almost a primal level, it all has to do with resource gathering. We as people need resources, we need tools, we need things to survive and to thrive in this life. And so if we perceive something as being scarce, we will gather it. It's the winter's coming. It's all that, right? So 100% scarcity. Actually, let me see if I can find, where's that book? I got a book somewhere. Oh, right here. This book right here, Influence, the Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini. He talks all about scarcity in this book. That's one of the things he talks.
One of the things that he talks about.
Yeah. That's why they do it. In my opinion, not don't do it with nacho fries because I would get those every time. I might just swing through and just get nacho fries. Like, I
Yeah. Oh
take
yeah.
away the crunch wrap supreme. I don't give a crap about the crunch wrap supreme. Make that, give that the perception of scarcity, but I want the nacho fries daily.
The nacho fries daily. Hey, put the nacho fries inside of my burrito. Put the nacho fries on top of my nacho bel grande. Put the nacho fries with my cinnamon twists. I
Yeah.
don't care. They're that
I
good.
want a side of nacho fries with every order. Okay. Here's the thing about Taco Bell. Taco every it's all there's no difference between most of the food. Most of the food it tastes like Taco Bell, but just in a different type of tortilla or it's a different shape. But most of it is just like this is what Taco Bell tastes like. The nacho fries are like one of the only things that tastes different on the menu, but it doesn't matter otherwise what you're eating. It's all Taco Bell flavor.
Right. And it's a delicious flavor. I mean, first and foremost, Taco Bell's delicious. I mean,
Yeah.
say what you want about it. I mean, yes, we are fully realized, functioning adults who, probably shouldn't be eating fast food. But the reality is fast food is delicious, and I'm not gonna forget where I came from. First and
No,
foremost,
no, Taco Bell for the audience needs to understand. Let me speak to the audience real quick. Taco
punch in
Bell,
on them. Punch in on them.
Taco Bell.
You know what? Go wide. Go wide. Go to single.
Yeah, you're right. Let me go to single. Let me go to
Get
single.
intimate. Get
Okay, here we
intimate
go.
here.
Taco Bell is the foundation of me and Sean's relationship. We
That's
went to
facts.
it's facts. Sean had a free taco. Didn't you have a free didn't you have a free taco? Didn't-
I think the free taco was the B plot line.
Okay.
It was advertising.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway, camera one. Do y'all remember back in it had to have been 1998? Burger King came out with some new French fries, and they said that you could get free French fries on the release day if you walk down there. Now we were in Michigan. I'm bringing Sean back in. We were in Michigan, and it was 98 because it was the blizzard of 98.
It was the winter. Absolutely.
There's a famous blizzard of 98 that's school was shut down for like 2 weeks. We were jumping out of second story windows into the snow banks. Okay, it was wild. But Burger King was launching these fries, and we were gonna walk down from Candlewick, which is apartments where we lived, all the way down to Burger King. It was too far in a blizzard. You know where we stopped?
Taco
Tell
Bell.
them. Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. We gave up on that journey. We went to Taco Bell.
We promptly gave up. The reality is looking back on it, all these years later, horrible idea. And I think
Horrible.
our parents had the same reaction, same initial reaction. Hey, this is the dumbest idea that the two of you have had, but I'm not going to stop you because it's going to
Right.
be hilarious to watch you try.
Yeah, just try to walk down to Burger. I mean, how far is Burger King from Candlewick?
I mean,
It's far.
I think it's probably like 3.5, maybe 4 miles.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
about 4 or 5 miles, and we were
yeah,
trying to just for free fries. Yeah, right.
for free fries and in a
Well,
blizzard,
yeah,
a couple days
like
after the blizzard hit.
like the blizzard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we bundled up and set out for it,
yeah. We
and
didn't make it that far. Taco Bell was a lot closer.
it was so much closer. And I think the reaction of the people that were working there, number one was, I'm not gonna have to really do anything today because there's been a blizzard. And then here come these two fools walking in, ready to eat, hungry, out of the
Yeah,
cold. There's no car in the parking
two
lot,
middle schoolers.
so they didn't see us drive in. Number
Yeah,
one,
no,
and hey, can I
pulling
get
out their
soft
change
soft shell tacos, please? I have a coupon.
for
I have a
39 cents. Those
I have
mugs
a
used to be
paper
cheap.
coupon. Yeah. You remember those, like, just the free sandwich, free taco coupons that were always paper?
Oh yeah,
Oh, create just so much trash in the 90s. You just, like, physically paper. Just
yeah, but also like a lot of just trash.
yeah. Well, and here's the thing. I thought by now, 2020, 2021. I
That
thought
all restaurants would be Taco Bell, like in Demolition Man. That's what I thought too.
Well, yeah. Well, I've always wondered how to use the three. Well, actually, I haven't wondered. I'm excited about the day that we're going to be able to utilize the three seashells. And I thought that during quarantine, we were going to make that shift when there was a shortage of toilet paper. I
It
was
was
like,
close.
I'm ready to go.
I was
I have
convinced that the quarantine was gonna set in motion like 50% of the Demolition Man world. I was like, oh, obviously this is why they don't engage in physical intercourse. Obviously, this is why they use the three seashells. Obviously, this is why Taco Bell wins because all the restaurants are closed. I was counting down the list. I was like, Demolition Man predicted all of this. They predicted the pandemic. I was convinced.
you convinced you ready to get the swearing citations as well.
I
Use those as
was.
toilet paper.
I was. I was ready to move underground with Dennis Leary.
You know what? I hear that the rat burger is just a culinary delicacy, and
It ain't that good.
judging from Sly's reaction, you know, I'm I'm actually surprised, and I could be wrong on this, that they haven't redone that yet.
Redone Demolition Man.
Yeah,
Man, that movie it's a classic. It holds up.
it
I
is a
watched it
classic.
the other day. It holds up.
It's great. I loved everything about that film.
Yeah. You know the only thing that they predicted video, like the mass adoption of video conferencing.
Ooh,
uh,
okay.
uh, self-driving cars. I mean, they predicted a lot of stuff, man. You know what they got wrong though, and like almost every movie about the future, like early 90s and back, you know what they always get wrong?
What's that?
The computer interface.
Talk to me.
All right. So basically, I think they all predict that the physical technology is going to be super advanced, right? Flying cars, all kinds of, neural sensor stuff. But then when you look at the screens, it's like they took a Nintendo graphics and were like, oh yeah, there will be computers and it'll, but it's like Nintendo graphics always. That's supposed to be a future. They're just like, oh, you did not understand that we would have computers in our pockets before we had flying cars.
Yeah,
You didn't get
they didn't anticipate that. Didn't
that. Yeah,
anticipate the rise of the smartphone.
no, no.
Man,
Not
remember
really,
you remember when
except for Xenon, they got it. They got it right.
I'm gonna have to go back on Disney Plus and check that out. But I was gonna say, do you remember shoot, at this point, maybe 15, 20 years ago, when I was convinced that BlackBerry was just the way to go?
Yeah, you wouldn't switch. I was like, I was getting so mad.
I really wouldn't. I really
I think that
refused to
started
let
I think
go.
that was the first time that you wholeheartedly rejected my recommendations, and from there on, like, you just don't take recommendations from me. But yeah, you were so convinced that the QWERTY keyboard, I need a physical keyboard.
I need a physical keyboard. I need it. I need it to type. Fast forward, get the iPhone. Oh, this is actually fantastic. I wish you'd have told me about this 6 years ago. So
Yeah, I remember you text me, "Why didn't you tell me about this?" I did.
oh my gosh. Well, shoot, BBM. I thought that your series of 6 or 7 numbers would be the way to reach you, and that would be how we communicated. There would be no names. Before that, myself and several others, the Nextel chirps, sitting
Mhm,
in undergrad lecture halls and hearing Nextel chirps go off.
mm-mm,
Kids these days can't relate to that. They can't relate to that. Little,
no.
little walkie-talkie action. Man,
I I didn't I it took me a while to get a cell phone. I had a flip phone, but I was probably about 21 by the time I got that. But then once that died, I upgraded to the to the iPhone system. But before my cell phone, man, I had the calling card. You remember the calling card?
I do remember calling cards.
Yeah, I always had a calling card. My dad would always give me one.
You know what else
Hey,
was
when you get off practice, use the calling card. Give me a call. I'll send you one.
that is hilarious. My first foray, yeah, there we go, foray, into cell phones was the Cricket. Man, I had a Nokia Cricket, and the game that I had on there was Snake.
Yeah, I remember that. You also got more stuff at a younger age, I feel like. Like I'm sitting here thinking like did Blair ever have a calling card to get picked up? Because I feel like he's been driving since he was like 12.
I did get a car young. I did get a car young, and reality is it
He was
is
15. He was out there just driving everybody to practice at 15 years old.
no, I was 16. When you get to the point where you get your kids a vehicle, are you going to get them something that is, you know, uh, new? Are you going to get them something that is, drivable without any issues? Or are you going to go with something that, is that old school car that's gonna teach them some life lessons? Maybe not be as uh as predictable as cars should be. What do you
Uh,
think?
honestly, my kids, I don't think that they're gonna drive.
Okay, talk to me.
I think by the time, because okay, so my oldest is 5, and so she's got about what 10, 11 years before she hits driver's license age. If they don't change the age to 18, I think before then she'll probably get into like a driverless car or some type of a rideshare system. Like she'll just probably just Uber.
Okay,
I don't know.
good
Like a
point.
lot of young kids don't even drive right now. Like a lot of
Yeah,
Gen Z, they don't even like driving.
I mean, well, there's not really anywhere to go right now either. But
Exactly.
yeah, I can see that. Them not it just not being the same priority as it was in the past, like as it was for us. But
Yeah.
it was also marking a rite of passage, being able to get your license or get your learner's permit or
'Cause you wanted to be
whatever
able to
that
get
might
out
be.
of the house, you wanted to be
Mhm.
able to go to your friends when you wanted, but, like, people I mean, like, this whole pandemic is changing everything. You can hang out with people like we're hanging out right now,
Yeah.
and we live in 2 different states, So I just I don't know if kids are gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Mhm.
I just don't know. I've been thinking about this. I don't know if they're gonna need to drive or want to.
Right. I mean, because there's alternatives. There are viable alternatives that are available. And I think it's a good thing. I do think that it's tough that we are going to see that rite of passage, kind of dissipate. But at the same time, less cars being on the road. I mean, cars spend 90% of their lives parked in parking spots, in garages. So, when we move beyond this point in time, it is going to be interesting to see, what ultimately happens with just the lifestyle choices that we've been accustomed to, what those eventually drift off into. I wasn't ready for the single cam to be on me. So you got me.
Did you?
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Let me
So
just put you on the spot. Hey,
yeah.
talk.
Yeah. Hey, just go in right
Just
now.
go. I'm gonna use the bathroom real quick. And relax.
Oh my goodness. And relax. So before we get out of here, I just want to leave you with this. Before we got to Christmas, my wife and I, we're doing our Christmas shopping, and I see a gift that I know is going to just absolutely be the perfect thing for her. And it's one of those paint by number kits. So
Mhm,
I wind up ordering a kit off of Instagram. I see a company on Instagram and they're featuring it. And it's middle of the day, nothing really going on, and I'm thinking to myself, this is it. This is the one. And we're getting to crunch time, early December type area, and I wind up filling out the information, sending the picture in, and sending it off. So get to about a week before Christmas, and I email them. I'm like, where is this item? Is it going to be here by Christmas? What's going on? They
Yeah.
get back to me, and they're like, you got to understand that we have to, run the pictures through the processing software that we have to get them printed onto canvas, numbered out. It takes a while. So I'm like, okay, I understand. And
Excuses.
excuses. And I think to myself, all right, probably not going to get this by Christmas, but well, maybe a week after, maybe 2 weeks after, New Year's at the latest. So it gets here yesterday, and we wind up taking it out
Yesterday?
yesterday, and we wind up taking it
What's their
out.
support email? I'm about to email them.
Give them a piece of your mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell
Um,
them excuses aren't good enough in America.
and we pull it out, and first and foremost, it looks great. Wife loves it, and
Yeah,
she started working on it, and you know it's just like almost like a puzzle that you're painting. I mean, that's all paint by numbers really are. But it throughout the waiting process, part of me was wondering, am I getting scammed right now? Am I being finessed?
yeah,
So, and because I bought it off of Instagram, never bought anything, never would even think that I would buy anything just from an Instagram ad, or be in a position where, hey, advertising actually worked on me, being part of a target audience, time of year, so on and so forth.
right.
So,
You're
my que-
part of the demographic that doesn't buy nothing.
oh, absolutely, I am not trying to spend any money.
Hey, don't try to target
Don't don't
Blair over
don't
here.
target me. I am just reluctant,
Yeah,
not going to do it,
yeah,
stubborn.
yeah.
Um, But before we get out of here, so have you ever had an instance where you thought you were being either scammed or finessed by anyone? You ever come across that after you've paid for something? After you paid for something, not you've seen it and hey, this doesn't look like it should, but just after the fact. You ever get those butterflies in your stomach thinking this ain't going the way it should?
Basically, every time I buy a car, I hate buying
Okay.
cars. I feel that way every time I buy a car. I'm like, man, this thing's gonna break down. I don't care how new it is. Oh, this thing, man, I'm committed to all this. This thing's gonna break down every time. And I did get scammed one time by this guy. He was an Olympic swimmer for Ukraine, and he was selling Volvos. And he sold us the biggest lemon that we bought that in the back of a Kmart. I should have known. I should have known.
Every
He had his
That's
meat out there
honestly,
in the back of the Kmart. We looked him up. But this guy is actually an Olympic swimmer. He swam against Michael Phelps. I'm not lying to you.
I mean, the athletic feats are impressive. I mean, sorry about the car, but
Yeah, it was horrible. It lasted about 2 months.
they all can be winners, as I like to
Mm-mm.
say. They
And
all
he
can be
told us
winners.
he was like, it's premium quality, premium Volvo.
Well, I'm sorry that that instance didn't work for you, but our painting came through. It's getting worked on, and I'm interested to see what the final product looks like, because I was looking at the colors that they included, and I'm like, I don't know if this runs the full spectrum. So we'll see what we ultimately get. But
Yeah.
I'm looking at the time. We're up against the clock. Hakes, as always, it was good chatting with you.
All
Similar
right,
to the
Blair.
banner that ran earlier, that Torlando punched up for us.
Yeah,
If you
pop
have
that
any
back.
questions,
Oh,
yeah,
this
if
one.
you have any questions, go ahead and shoot them to andrelaxpodcast@gmail.com. I've been one of your co-hosts, Sean.
Yeah, and I'm Torlando.
We'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Deuces.